Hey guys, Lawrence Broussard here today. As y'all notice, food prices are going up. Fuel prices went way up, came down a little bit. Looks like in the fall it's going to go back up. So what are we talking about with that? With cooking. Budget-friendly cooking items. That's easy. What I've got right here is a can of Del Monte fancy green beans. Got them at Sam's. I normally use potatoes in a bag, but unfortunately I went to buy, not unfortunately, I went on my motorcycle. I didn't have room to carry potatoes. So I had a few cans of potatoes, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to add a few other things in it, and I'm going to make a complete meal. And this is a little over $4, I think it went up, unfortunately. And like 68 cents, 70 cents a can. So it's going to wind up being about $7, but it's going to be a lot of food. Stick with me and let's see what happens. One of the things I do with my cans is I normally keep a thing of soap. All I do is take the top of the cans, a little soap, wash it off, and I'm going to do that with all my cans. And you go, well, why would you do that? Because to be honest, some of these warehouses and these places, these cans have been, I don't know how clean they are. And so my idea is, what does it hurt? Really helps to have one of these big can openers. I want to buy one and I keep forgetting to do it. Then, sorry guys, I sprung my ankle, sprung my wrist the other day at the gym. I'm having a little bit of problems with it. They make a can opener that has a smooth inside after you open the can. I want to get that because I use this for my garden. Now, the green beans, I'm going to just pour the whole thing in. Somehow or another, I forgot to show this. This is my vegetable broth made in January. I'll leave a link to the video. I put this in before I added the green beans. So 1 quart of homemade or store-bought vegetable broth. Broth, everything. Reason I use this can, well, let's see. You probably can't see it, but you can now. See, it got dented. Had a couple of cans of these. I hate going to the store for 1 can. It doesn't make sense to me. If you go for 1 can, that's fine. Whatever makes you happy. Really neat strainer, look. Just put it over the sink like this. And open the cans and drain them. Now the potatoes, I don't have to drain them. I could just put it in. But I want to cut down on the preservatives and the whatever they have in here. Like I said, I normally use bagged potatoes, but I don't have any and I don't want to go to the store. I mean, it sounds nuts, but you know, at $4 to $5 a gallon for gas, for me to go buy $4 of potatoes is going to wind up costing me $9. And personally, I do not want to spend $9. Gotta trim this one off. For 4 pounds of potatoes, 4 pounds, for a couple of pounds of potatoes, I have a couple of cans at home. Now these potatoes, the slices work better, but I'm gonna just keep them in wedges. Goes right in there. As you'll see in the broth video, if you want to watch it, know how to make homemade veggie broth. You just take the onion peelings and freeze them till you have enough. When I'm going to save the onion peelings, then I'm not real careful. If I get some onion in there, that's great. It's going to give me more flavor. All we got to do is take this onion right here and onion peel, cut up, ready to go in the green beans with potatoes. Now from here on out, it's a lot of personal preference. You could just add a little bit of seasonings and cook this like this. Now everything's basically cooked already but the onions. So you could cook it, say, an hour, and it's probably going to be ready. with just a little bit of seasonings, it's going to taste great. If you're on a budget or you want to invest more in it, depends what you put in. You can add mushrooms in this, really, really good. I'm not going to do it today because we're trying to do a budget. What I will do is I'm going to put some seasonings. Let's go ahead and get this kicked up so it can start cooking. I'm going to bring it to a boil, and then the minute it gets to a boil, I'm going back to a simmer. Most of the time when I cook, and you do it the way you want, I don't add a lot of seasonings at first. I'll add a little bit. This is parsley. I'm going to put some garlic in it. Since I don't have any fresh cayenne peppers, I'm going to use a little cayenne pepper from here. Just a tad of basil. And as usual, my mesquite seasoning from Costco. Now, what I do at first, again, everybody does it different. I don't put a lot of seasoning at first. I put a little. Therefore, I'm going to come back and I'm going to taste it later and see what I need to add. Now, you go, well, why don't you use the same seasonings? This is why. Even in my garden, you take some okra. I got just 6 okra plants right now. But one part of the okra to the beginning of the okra row to the end is going to taste different. And so your seasonings and your veggies and everything is going to taste a little different. Now if you notice, this is just a little bit of basil, not much. Don't even need it, but I want to enhance the flavors. So I let things cook for a while, and then I'll come back and taste it, and then I'll finish seasoning. On the theme of budget, I have 2 cups of rice cooked. See if we're boiling yet. No, we've got a steam, but we're not there. We're not boiling yet, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is just get me a little broth right here. It's got a pretty good flavor. I'm going to go ahead and add a little liquid smoke to it. And after that cooks a little bit, I'll decide whether I want salt. I really don't want to put salt because you already have sodium, if I'm not mistaken, in the green beans and the potatoes. All right, we got a little boiling action going on. Let's go ahead and turn this down. Budget, but we got to have a little flavor and taste in here. I really like nutritional yeast. I think it is extremely healthy. Also, it seems to give you like a little cheddar type flavor, and it also makes thicker. So I'm going to add me a cup of nutritional yeast. Now, see the color of the broth? Let's add in the 1 cup of nutritional yeast. Stir it up a little. If you remember, the color before was kind of see-through. Look how golden and beautiful this is. You can add a little bit more if you want, but we're trying to do budget, and 1 cup is plenty. We go ahead and get a taste now that we add that nutritional yeast. It hasn't had a chance to cook yet, but let's taste it. Oh, that's good. Hickory liquid smoke. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit. I put the nutritional yeast in. I also added liquid smoke. Now what I find it's gonna give you is almost like a smoky, cheesy flavor. If you don't like that, don't add it, but it makes it richer. I didn't add a lot of cost. Buy the nutritional yeast, usually in larger quantities, so it's lower cost, but do what's best for you. Today is budget with a good meal. Food's cooked, rice is hot, it's not time to eat. Well, what am I gonna do? Turn it off. Why? Because it'll be plenty hot in an hour.
Oh, that's good. It's good.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. A lot different. And I don't have no small alley for Mark today.
There you go, guys. Budget friendly green bean,
Yummy.
like soup. I'm not really sure what you call it, but it's really, really good. Very low cost and also healthy.
Yummy, yummy.